Hey guys, I'm Jill Powell, and today I'm going to show you why you need all of these brushes in your makeup kit. So I believe that you need at least 5 or 6 brushes in your kit to do your face. Some people can get away with less. I personally believe that makeup is an art, so you need to have the right tools in order to create your beautiful masterpiece on your face every single day. So first and foremost, if you wear foundation, I do suggest a foundation brush. Yes, you can put on foundation with your fingers. Yes, you can use a sponge, but I personally love a foundation brush because you can just get that product on there. It doesn't absorb any of the extra foundation, so you're not wasting any product. So here are some options for foundation brushes. Your foundation brush should be something synthetic. So I've got 3 different variations here. One in the middle is your typical flat foundation brush. A lot of brands will carry this. This one is the MAC 190. It's flat. It has a little bit of a tapered bristle. So you have, shorter to longer in the center. That will give you a really nice blend. It will also put on a lot of product, which is really beautiful. You can use back and forth motions with this. You can really, just get your whole complexion on pretty quickly. So that is your traditional foundation brush, this guy right here. These 2 are kind of your newer, different, and I would say newer in the past, 10 years. I'm kind of old, guys. So these are your newer style foundation brush. They give more of like an airbrushed finish. So I do love these because I love to use circular motions when I'm putting on foundation. This guy right here is actually the Concealer Blend Kabuki by Sigma. It's the F79. It's really dense and it's still got your synthetic bristles. It goes shorter to longer, so you can really pack on that product. I do love this because you can use more of a pressing motion, but you can also use your circular motions. It's almost like a beauty blender in a brush. So I love the finish that this gives. There's also something like this, which is very similar, but these are longer bristles. You're gonna get a softer application. This one is the BH Cosmetics number 4 brush. And again, you can use your circular motions, you can really blend it out, and it just gives a really beautiful airbrush finish. So 3 options, and there's plenty more options out there, but these are just showing you 3 different variations for a foundation brush. Make sure you have at least 1 foundation brush in your kit if you are applying liquid foundation. Now we are moving on to powder brushes. So there again are different variations as far as size, shape. I personally don't like anything bigger than these. I'll see some powder brushes that are gigantic. You can pretty much do your whole face in one fell swoop. I personally think smaller is better. So these ones are still decently sized. This one right here is a Hakuhodo brush. It's a very expensive brush, but it's got this really beautiful taper tip to it. So I really love it because just the way the bristles are, it just gives a nice blend. This guy is an older Sephora brush. They still make a lot of them very similar. So it's very similar, except it's not as tapered. It's a little bit flatter on the top. And then this guy is a Violet Voss brush. So this one's just a little bit smaller. So I do like this one because you can really get into the smaller areas and you can really buff powder into your foundation if you want to. So these can be used for powder foundation or translucent powder. Sometimes people can use these for bronzer as well. That's kind of why I like this one. It's a little more versatile. So if you're getting only 1 brush for powder, bronzer, all of that, I would go for something a little bit smaller. But yeah, these ones are all great brushes for powder. So you can again use them for translucent powder. You can use them for body shimmer, powder foundation, kind of anything that you are setting your makeup with. So here's 3 different options for your powder brushes. One product that I like to never leave home without is blush. So it's important to have a blush brush. Can you use your powder brush for blush? Yes and no. You do not want to use the powder brush that is so gigantic you cannot apply it where you want it on your cheek. You don't want your blush to be that big. So I do recommend doing something a little bit smaller. These 2 are angled blush brushes, which I also love for contour. So I do use this one for bronzer and contouring a lot. So having one of these for your bronzer blush is an option, as long as you kind of wipe it off in between. So you can do something along these lines. This one is an old Sephora brush, but I do believe they still make a pro brush very similar. This one is the Sigma Large Angle Contour F40. You can also do something like this one. This one is a smaller brush. This one's the Morphe M523. So again, just something really small where you can apply it on your apple and blend it out. I do love these angle brushes for blush because you can really get the color on and then blend it out. Those shorter bristles are gonna apply it. The longer bristles are gonna blend it. So you're gonna get a really soft application of blush. So I definitely recommend having some sort of blush brush. Some people also use these for highlighter, and when I'm in a pinch, I will definitely do blush and highlighter using the same brush. So again, very versatile, something to keep in your kit. Okay, my next brush, these are just a few of my blending brushes. Obviously, I believe this is your most important brush in your kit. If you're doing any eyeshadow, you must have a blending brush. 90% of people that come in and ask me to fix their eyeshadow, I will literally just take a blending brush with no product on it and blend what they've already done, and it looks 1,000 times better. So you need to blend your eyeshadow. So there are so many different sizes, so many different shapes, so many different textures and hair and everything. I personally, you can kind of see the shape that I love. It's this guy right here. These ones are a little bit shorter. They have more of a rounded tip. Some of them are tapered, but they're a little bit more of a dense blending brush. I really love these because they can apply product really well, but also blend at the same time. So if you're getting one blending brush, I definitely suggest something like these. This first one is by Elcie. I've got two by Smith. I've got the Smith 247 and the 232. And then my other one is the Morphe M519. So something that is smaller, you can really just apply this right in here. You can get that product on there. You can blend it out. It's just a really good crease blending brush. You've also got some like these. So I've got basically my small, medium, large. And again, this one is really great for applying in the crease. You can also blend out on the bottom. This guy's a little bit more tapered, and this one's a little bit longer and fluffier. So my MAC 224, which is my old school favorite, this one gives a really soft blend. And then I have a MAC 226, which is an older brush. I'm not sure if they still make it, and a Morphe 506. So again, you want to match the size of your eye. So if you have a really small eye, I would not go for something as large as the 224. I would stick with one of these, or maybe this one in the center, which is something that can match your eye so that you're not using too big of a brush for a smaller eye area. But if you are a makeup artist, I definitely suggest having a variety of blending brushes, because this is probably the #1 brush you need in your kit and your makeup bag, and this is the #1 brush I see omitted from the everyday person's makeup bag. So definitely go out and get yourself a blending brush and try to find what you think is gonna work best for you. Okay, moving on with other eyeshadow brushes. These are a flat kind of shader. A lot of times they'll be called like an eyeshadow shader. These are really great for applying shadow on your lid. So this one is the Smith 253. This one's the Smith 256. The biggest difference is size. You have a smaller eye, you're gonna use something a little bit smaller. You have a bigger eye, you can use something a little bit bigger. This one, I have no idea where I got it. It has rubbed off, but again, it just shows you the difference. These two are tapered at the tip. This one's a little bit more flat at the tip. They're both natural bristles, so I do love just getting this in and applying the color on your lid. Yes, you can use your finger with a lot of shadows. Matte shadows are a little bit harder to use your finger with, so I definitely still recommend having some sort of flat shader. This one's also really great if you want to kind of carve out a line and get like a really strong crease. It's really great for that as well. So using a flat shader in your kit would be really awesome to have. I do also think it's important to have some sort of detail brush. So these are a few different options of detail brushes. The one in the center is considered a smudge brush. It's a little bit wider and short bristled, and it also has kind of a taper to it. It's really, really dense. So you're going to apply a lot of product. It's not going to be a lot of blending, but it's great for smudging out liner or really getting that color. So I use it a lot of the times underneath my eye, or I'll use it in the corner to kind of carve out and create a little bit of depth in the corner. So these two I consider pencil brushes. The reason why I call them a pencil brush is because they are pointy, just like a pencil. So literally you can draw on where you want that detail, and it can just be really precise. So I feel like this is a great brush, especially for beginners, because sometimes it's really hard for you to figure out where to place things. And so these smaller brushes can really help you with that. Plus I really love smudging stuff in the corners and creating detail. So these are your detail brushes. Definitely one of these is important to have in your makeup bag. And last but not least, I have an angle brush and an eyeliner brush. I call this like a gel eyeliner brush. It's really, really small and tiny. And then your angle brush is basically a little triangle. So your angle brush can be used for either gel eyeliner or brow powder or anything. You can even use it for shadow, creating a shadow liner. This pointy brush is great for liquid liner, gel liner, anything like that. So if you do not wear eyeliner with liquid or gel, or you don't do your brows, if you use a brow pencil or an eyeliner pencil, this is definitely like an extra, but for the most average person, it's good to have something like this in your kit just in case you choose to do a shadow liner or something different. Definitely makeup artists need these in their kit, but these are kind of your auxiliary, your extras, if you're using those types of products. But you cannot put on a gel liner with any of the other brushes I showed you. So if you do have a gel liner or for a brow pomade or a brow powder, you definitely need a brush like this in your kit. It's also important to have some sort of flat synthetic brush. I love these for either applying concealer, applying your primer on your eyelid, cleaning up brow if you want to use a concealer around your brow, cleaning up lip if you want to use a concealer around your lip to really make a sharp lip line. So something flat and synthetic is very important to have in your kit. There's lots of different ones. I do love a fluffier concealer brush as well, but I find that this is your most universal multitasking brush, so definitely add one to your makeup bag. So here is your basic brush set. I know it looks like a lot of brushes for a beginner. There's a couple you might be able to omit, like I said, that angle brush and the liner brush, possibly if you're not using those products. Definitely at least a couple face brushes. You want something for your foundation, something for your powder and bronzer, something for your blush, highlighter, bronzer. You do need this blending brush, super important. Don't forget that one, guys. And then you have your smaller detail brushes, which is your liner, your brow or liner, your smudge brush, so something more detailed. And then you also have your flat brush for your shadow and your flat brush for your concealer. So it's kind of your basic brush set. I promise brushes are worth the investment. A lot of these I have had for, some of them even 20 years. So if you take care of them and if you buy good brushes, then I promise you they will last. You'll be able to create masterpieces on your face. I always say it's really hard to paint a beautiful masterpiece with all this detail with just your fingers. So you definitely need those tools to create your masterpiece, and these are gonna help you look beautiful every single day. Thanks again for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below what you wanna see next. All of the products used in my video are also linked below. And if you wanna see more, follow me anywhere at Jill Powell Glam. Thanks again.